To answer your question, for me, being creative in general is kind of something that I have to force myself to do. I used to be an artist that would fall victim to his own laziness a lot, because I would sit around and I would try and wait for this creative energy or spurt to hit me. And you quickly realize when you do that, you're going to be waiting around a lot and your output is going to suffer. So for me, I make it a point to at least 2 or 3 times a week just sit myself in my studio, open up a Pro Tools session, get a beat lined up, and just kind of force myself to write just to get the creative juices flowing. And, I find that if I can overcome that first obstacle, it's a lot easier to get my thoughts and ideas out. So you can imagine it's especially challenging during a time like this where, everybody's mind is racing in a million different directions, and people are dealing with anxiety about, where their next paycheck's going to come from. Are their family members all right? Dealing with the uncertainty about the future and what that could hold. So I definitely went through a period where, I wasn't really feeling creative. And it's funny because I kind of went into this thinking like, oh, damn, I'm going to have all this free time and I'm going to be able to just be able to sit down and clear my mind and create. And that's not always the case. A lot of times you have to take your personal feelings and your anxieties and fears into consideration first. And I definitely had to, get my mind in a place where, essentially just check up on my own mental health and make sure I was all right. And I've definitely been able to accept the situation and deal with it a lot better over the past couple days. And that's allowed me to kind of set my mind at ease and be able to get into a natural routine again. So, I don't know if that really answers your question, but I've just tried to maintain as much normalcy as I can in my life and still follow the same routines that I was doing before. It's just you kind of have this thing in the background that almost doesn't feel real sometimes, but I just try to power through it and put myself in a position where I'm comfortable and I could start to feel creative again. It's almost like going to the gym. If you put on your gym sneakers and your shorts and your t-shirt, that's half the battle. So I find, just kind of locking myself in my studio and putting on my headphones and pulling up a Pro Tools session helps a lot in terms of just, forcing myself to be creative and make music.
Hey, what's up? This is Kwamé, and I deal with this coronavirus quarantine / lockdown in a very creative way because it's allowing me the space and the time to start projects that I've always wanted to start, to finish projects that I always wanted to finish, and also it gives me time to create new possibilities and new lanes for myself. I'm normally an introvert. I'm normally in the studio for days or weeks or maybe even months on end creating. But due to touring schedules and just other travel schedules, it kind of limited the time that I had to be creative in my own creative space. So now where I live, there's everything closes early. There's no place to just go and hang out and do anything like that. So the next natural thing is to be home and create. A lot of music is getting done. A lot of writing is getting done. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of new opportunities. For example, just the other day, it was my birthday and I could have been either partying or doing a show or something like that. But what I decided to do was throw an IG, Instagram live, pretty much a live festival. And I brought together a lot of classic artists, and they joined my live feed as I DJ'd, and they performed, I performed, and it actually created a whole new opportunity for me. So now I'm receiving opportunities to DJ and bring what I did on Instagram live to a actual audience in the near future once this thing blows over. So that's just one example of how to create in this space and in this time. You know, another thing is being extremely conscious of cleanliness. You know, certain things you may, of course, you wash your hands and you make sure things are in your surroundings are clean, but the level of detail to disinfecting and cleaning and washing has ramped up considerably, and it makes me aware of just ways to be better and more conscious about the environment that we're in and how dirty the environment could possibly be that you're in. You know, I'm not a germaphobe. I'm a neat, clean person, but I'm not a germaphobe. But this coronavirus has actually turned me into one in a good way, and made me aware of things that I may not have been aware of before. Now, I don't know how long this is going to go, but I do know that it's taking a toll and a serious hit on a lot of people out there. But you know, I have to focus on my industry, the entertainment industry, because we make our money based on people's attendance in clubs, in theaters, in arenas every week. So that's our bread and butter, our weekly bread and butter. You know, royalties come every 3 to 6 months. So, you know, what we rely on is what we may have saved or what we do every week. So this pandemic has definitely put a serious dent in the entertainment industry. And yes, we are finding ways to be creative and entertaining, especially online, but that does not pay bills. That just bides our time, and it just helps those who may need some sort of entertainment to squash some of their anxieties and fears in a good way. So so it's impacting in so many different ways.